The Stardew 100 Days video popped off to an unprecedented degree, so first, I would like to formalize a thank you. 200 Days is being played live on stream, as was 100 Days actually. We are in the middle of winter at the time of this video's release, so 200 Days should be out soon. In the meantime, to tide you over, I thought I'd do what I did with Gungeon, which is to try my best with the limited pixel art ability I have to do a fan art of sorts. To give more technical information as we roll the footage after measuring other sprites, it was decided that the sprite itself will be about 32 to 14 pixels. The 14 pixels wide is actually very important, as that is uniformly the width of Stardew Valley sprites. Now at this point in time, I am not confident about both replicating the Stardew Valley style and drawing a person. We'll do our best, but we did make the decision to draw a robot or a construct if you're a Magic the Gathering player instead. The idea itself stemmed from what I believe to be a piece of cut content where you can have your spouse or the bachelors and bachelorettes of the town accompany you in the mines. They have unused items and sprites for their weapons, so I thought why not be a robot that the dwarf build, that you can feed battery packs to accompany you in your mine delving or skull cavern delving. In my head, the concept was a nutcracker-like construct with a weapon on one hand and a way to break rocks on the other. Because the two things you do the most in the mine is fighting and breaking rocks. There is also looting, but that's where the player comes in. The weapon I've decided is some sort of bonking stick, and we added a jackhammer to the left arm as a way to break rocks. It was also decided on a bit of a whim that the robot is gonna be a unicyclist, meaning it goes around on one wheel, because why not? Something that I regret later. Now, how does a robot that goes around on treads with no hands to grab onto things go down ladders or mine shaft safely? That I will rely on your suspensions of disbelief and imagination. Thank you very much, no more question. The process of drawing itself is fairly simple. Once the nitty-gritty and the concept is somewhat settled, I lay down the basic shapes, figuring out where things go. After that, using another work I've made as reference, I color pick my way into filling the basic shapes with colors. I did, however, make the decision to only have one orange feather on top. A bit of a departure from my look, but I incorporated the blue and the red into the arms and the weapon. I also toyed with the idea of having upgradable weapons, so we kinda made a bronze weapon version, iron, gold, iridium. For presentation, I did choose the bronze weapon version. I feel like when you discover the robot, me, it would start from the bottommost level, and you would work your way up the upgrade chain as is the usual. After we're done with what the sprite would roughly be, don't worry, I did a lot of touch up to it later, we move on to the portrait component. The lettering for the nameplate is just a slew of copy-pasting from existing characters, notably Jody, Sebastian, and Krobus. Thank you very much. As far as the face is concerned, during concepting I was considering one of three options. The Heno Heno Moheji face, which is gonna be a pain in the ass to recreate in a 32 by 14 canvas, smaller because it's only the face. Mokujin from Tekken with the round eyes and round pointed nose, or Vega from Street Fighter, making it, while not porcelain, porcelain-esque in shape and finish. Someone did point out while I was doing the sprite that I look like the Martian from Looney Tunes or a Bomberman, and I couldn't unsee that, so you now can't too. In the end, I did end up with mainly Vega porcelain mask thing with elements from the Mokujin face. The fact that it's made of wood, mainly. I did struggle with creating visual interest on the face. It looked a bit bland and boring, especially with the accent colors just being orange with no blue or red. We did eventually expand on the overgrowth aspect you might have noticed from the sprite to cover the little bit of a side of the face there. I did debate a crack from the face and the plant life growing from it, but my skill level isn't there yet to realize that particular part of the vision, so I just have the plant snake around from the back instead. Something definitely felt off at the end here, and after carefully looking and mulling it over, I thought I would give anti-aliasing a try. Anti-aliasing is the process of adding or modifying values during a curvature to make it look more smooth or softer. This is just my takeaway from the countless tutorials I found online, and a bit of a full disclosure that this will be my first time anti-aliasing a thing. And we see here in the final render, I might have went overboard a little. And not just with the anti-aliasing, though definitely that too. I retouched the sprite and made a back-facing and side-facing ones, as well as animating them with a simple walk cycle animation. Making a unicycle was definitely a decision that bit me in the ass in terms of animating it, because when I made the decision, I wasn't making the decision with animating in mind. It's my biggest takeaway and my biggest lesson from this whole ordeal. While I wasn't able to completely capture the Stardew Valley style, as is evident with this side-by-side, the value difference between the outline and the color should be way more, as well as the way I shaded the metal are the two biggest takeaways from here. There are definitely a lot more subtle things going on in the Stardew Valley sprite than mine, but I did learn a lot from doing this. 10 out of 10 learning experience, would do more in the future. But that's it from me. 200 days of Stardew coming very soon. If you want to check the full piece, it is linked on the description to my Twitter. And a proper YouTuber would say, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Engage with my content. I appreciate it, and you. Cheers. Bye-bye.